Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome.
Made sure my mic is on because that would actually be helpful. Yeah, so this is my phone, and you should be using social media, because what's a talk on social media without social media? So I should be really annoyed with this thing by the end of this talk, tweeting at me, at Ramen Needles, and at secular students, and using our hashtag SSACon. So make my phone as annoying as hell as it can be in the next 20 minutes. So there is some basic knowledge that you should know about social media, like less is more. Brevity is the soul of wit. Who can tell me where that's from?
Shakespeare?
Yeah! Hamlet. I also have another Hamlet quote tattooed on my back, but it's not as clever as this one. It just says words, words, words. All right, yeah, so brevity. Be brief. Keep it short. Twitter kind of makes you be brief because there's only 140 characters. Be easily locatable. Make sure it's easy for people to find you on Twitter. Your Twitter handle should just be like, you know, your name of your group. SSAUSC, Illini SSA, secular students. Don't be like me and pick something that people think is not even, like, people think that my name is Ramen Noodles on Twitter. It is not. It is not Ramen Noodles. It is Ramen Needles because I'm very clever and nobody recognizes that. So, yeah. And don't be offensive, but there is a little note there because, well, yeah, my phone's being annoying. Awesome. There's an asterisk on don't be offensive because, well, we're secular student groups, and that's just what happens sometimes. Our existence is offensive. So, yeah, and be authentic. You want your secular student group and your Twitter presence and your Facebook presence to be genuinely you. We are marketing, for lack of a better word, to millennials, and you know what? Millennials don't like being marketed to. So you have to be authentic. You have to be genuine. You have to actually engage with millennials and with your demographic on Twitter and Facebook in an actual way, instead of just being like, hey, you're a member, I'm going to tell you whatever I want. You actually have to put, you know, thought into what you're doing. I know it's, who wants to put effort, but whatever, deal with it. And you also have to write your own story. If you're just always retweeting or borrowing content from others, then you're really not going to be making your own mark with your social media presence. So write your own story on your social media presences. So now, yeah, and this is something that I like to keep in mind because it can be a little frustrating when I'm flooding my own feed. You are the only one who will read all of your social media, and it may seem like you're overwhelming everyone, but really you're just overwhelming yourself. So if there's a lot going on in your social media feeds from you, you're probably the only one seeing that. So just kind of accept that. And don't be dead. Yeah, don't be dead. That is a very sad thing when I go to check people's Twitter feeds and they haven't been updated since 2011. I'm not going to follow you if you haven't updated since 2011, so don't be dead on social media. Also, we don't know if you still exist if you haven't updated in several years. Except our RCOs are much better about finding out if you exist in real life in meat space. So yeah, now we're going to get on to something I like to call posting guidelines. So really what this means is you should consider having posting guidelines in place. And this can include no flame wars, think before you speak, think before you post, think before you decide to engage with people, that your organization is a safe space. Your Secular Student Alliance affiliate online, your internal social media, should be a safe space for your members. No topics are off limits for discussion, but I want to caveat that I mean topics, discussion. Don't be a dick to your own members. I know. You would think that like people would know that already, but you'd also be surprised. And I like to say that admins reserve the right to terminate the threads. So if things have gotten out of hand and things are like devolving into ad hominem attacks instead of actual discussion, then admins are admins for a reason and have the right to terminate threads. And I think you should post this in your Facebook group about section so people know what the posting guidelines are, and you can cite them as soon as somebody has broken a rule. And you can find these and like more like them at secularstudents.org/FB guidelines. So yeah. Now we're going to get into talking about primary versus secondary and tertiary social media stuff. So, primary, that would be Facebook, Twitter, email, Tumblr, asterisk. And now we're going to talk about internal versus external social media. So for internal versus external social media, you need to consider your audience. And I know I'm like brushing through this, but I have like 20 or 30 slides, so 1 slide per minute, gotta keep it up. And you need to decide if you want to have a Facebook page or a Facebook group or both, and we're going to talk about the differences in between those and why you would have one or the other. So, internal social media, we're going to talk about Facebook groups and emails first. For your Facebook group, don't have it .edu locked. Does anyone know what this means? Liz knows what it means. Liz is very angry about it.
Organizers can't help you.
Yeah, if you have your Facebook group .edu locked for students who attend your university or have like sc.edu specific emails, your campus organizers and national staff can't get into your group, and we can't see what's going on, and we can't help you, and we may or may not even know if your group exists. So keep that in mind. There is 3 different types of Facebook groups. There's open, which is everyone can see all of the threads and all of the people and all of the things that are going on inside your Facebook group. There is closed, which means everyone can see all the people but not any of the threads. And there's private, which if people aren't in that Facebook group, they can't even find it on Facebook via a search. I don't recommend having your group private because that doesn't mean that means that the only people who can join your Facebook group are the people who have specifically come to you and be like, can you add me as a friend on Facebook and then add me to the Facebook group? So your Facebook group is going to be infinitely smaller if you have a private group. I recognize that a lot of groups are going to have some members who can't be out or join groups on Facebook, but really for as many people as you can get into one group, closed is going to be your best option. And you can fight me about it, but I'm going to win. Because I'm very aggressive. Yeah, so Facebook groups are best for internal planning. So if you're planning to come to our conference, then you're going to want to do it mostly in your Facebook group. If you're planning your events for the fall, mostly in the Facebook group. And you can also use your Facebook group as a forum, so you can post links and videos and articles and discussion topics, and that's where you're going to have that. You're not going to get as much of that on your page because more people will get notifications from your group rather than from the page where it just like might show up in your feed, maybe. And I recommend that things that you post in your Facebook group are things that elicit discussion and continue dialogue. The memes don't go on your Facebook group because it's just a picture and it's annoying and I get notifications. And okay, so I used to be the Southeastern Volunteer Network Coordinator, so I was in 100 or so of your groups. And when I wanted to go check out something about your group because you posted something cool and it was just a meme, I was really mad about it. So if you have memes, delegate those to the Facebook page instead. And here's a point I'm going to kind of hope to drive home. Be aware of spammers. Just because somebody has joined your group on Facebook does not mean they are a member or even go to your school. Please check their Facebook profile. If there's nothing but Nike shoes, probably don't add them to your group. Just a suggestion. Also, it's okay to ban people when they decide to spam your group with lots of links of the same thing. I really love being in about 6 or 7 groups, and it's just the same guy posting the same link in 6 or 7 different groups. And by that, I mean I don't love it at all. You know, in case that wasn't clear. Yeah, and one last note about internal social media Facebook groups. Posting guidelines, those are in bold and they're italicized. That means I really want you to have posting guidelines for your Facebook groups. Am I clear? You guys are understanding so far? I'll beat you up.
I don't have Facebook, so.
Sucks to suck, man. I'm just kidding. All right, and I'm going to say something very controversial to this free speech crowd. Don't be afraid of banning people, because if they are just harassing your members, then that's not a safe space for your group, and it's no fun for anybody involved. All right, now we're going to get into email. This is a very important point. You know why? Because it's bold, it's italicized, and it's in yellow. Use BCC. Who can tell me what BCC stands for? Liz can, Joe can, Max, can you tell me what BCC stands for? What's it stand for?
Blind closed copy.
No, blind carbon copy, but close enough. Does anyone know what a blind carbon copy even is? Liz and Joe are old enough. Liz, what's a blind carbon copy?
Blind carbon copy is when you actually have carbon paper for a typewriter and it's blacked out so you can't see that part of the carbon copy.
So, blind carbon copy is that thing that you see on your email that is very much similar to seeing a floppy disk on a save drive. It has become like the symbol of something that you have no idea what it actually is, but you know what it does, kind of. But BCC, the use of that, okay, so you see a to line in an email, you see a CC email, which is carbon copy, and sometimes you'll see a BCC. What BCC does, and this is like the blind part of it, is it will hide all of the emails for people you are emailing to. So when you get an email in your phone that is like to your members, there won't be this giant block of addresses at the top before you get to the rest of the bottom of the email. And the importance part of that is being able to maintain privacy so you don't out your members on your mailing list. So what can we learn, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary persons? Use BCC! Yeah! All right, now we're moving on. Most of your email will be internal because you'll be messaging members about events and things coming up and t-shirts and dues and all this really exciting information. So yeah, and unique titles are very good. The Illini Secular Student Alliance, because they're always good at great things and they're good at this. They always have unique titles for the emails, like this is a great thing because ISA, get it? They're so clever. So yeah, people will be like, I don't know what this is, and they'll open it. So use unique titles to get people to open up your emails. All right, and then brevity, y'all. Brevity. All right, and yeah, you can also, wait, nope. Spell check, capitalization, etc. There's this thing on the internet that like is called spell check, so you can make sure that you spell all the things in your emails right. So make sure you do that before you send something. Make sure that you have capitalization. Make sure that you have written an email like a professional before you send it out to 50, 60, 100,000 people. Like, just for my sake, please do this. And you can also use a mail client. There are a lot of great places like MailChimp and Joomla and Constant Contact that provide really fancy looking email newsletter templates and take care of that BCC for you for free, especially for student groups, especially if you have a small mailing list. So check out those if you're interested in upping your email game. Yep, and just because some people forget to do this, make sure you actually have a sign-up list to collect emails, and also like use the email list. Like, don't let it go into somebody's like bottom of their backpack, never to be seen again. Like, use the email list if you have it. Yay! All right, now we're moving on to external social media, and this is a really long talk. I'm sorry. By sorry, I mean I'm not. So we're going to be talking about Facebook pages now. They have theoretically a much wider reach than a group, so you'll have people who are not from your university, not from your country, that will like your Facebook group. You don't know why, they just do that sometimes. So yeah, have a Facebook page. This is also best for public-facing documents, events, memes, articles, blog posts, reminders for casual members. But the problem is, they have not shown up in people's news feeds because sometimes you'll like 300 pages and you won't see your pages that you need to see. So if you have something important that people need to know, make sure it goes out in all of the social media, not just on the Facebook page. Public statements go here, so I'll get into talking about public statements and press releases in my next talk at 4:30. So if you want to hear the excitement that I have going on at 4:30, which is very much in this vein, stay. Make sure that all of your information is up to date. Make sure that your room number and your meeting place and your date that you meet and that you still exist as an organization is up to date on your Facebook page. Like, that's just common knowledge, but you never know. So as soon as you get back and you know things for the fall, update your Facebook page. Post news from SSA National, especially if we're bragging about your group. Like, I have taken time out of my precious day to write about your Facebook group, and you should post, at the very least, post it on your own Facebook group. Like, that's just, or your Facebook page. Like, that's just sad. Like, that makes my heart hurt. But anyway, yeah. So, what's my point about email? Wait, hold on, I have something else. Nope. Yeah, my point about email is, unsurprisingly, use BCC for external media. Just so, because you don't want to let reporters know that you are emailing 10 reporters about this event. They just want to think they're special, which I talk about in my next talk. External media will be mostly for press. Again, Learn more at my traditional media talk next. All right, next I'm going to talk about the don'ts on social media. Don't post the link in the caption of a post. The Facebook algorithm has shown that if you have the link in the caption of the post, it'll be seen by less people. Just like this is like Facebook algorithm stuff that I'm getting into, not just like best practices. So if you're interested in like Facebook algorithms, then this is the important part of my talk. Don't repurpose ad content for organic content. So if you have something that looks like an ad and you want to make it look organic to make things go more viral about your organization, it's not going to work. Facebook's algorithm is surprisingly good. It's like they pay engineers to do this or whatever. Don't explicitly ask for likes, shares, or comments. This used to actually work really well in the Facebook algorithm, but they have cut back on that, so don't do that. Don't overuse hashtags. This is not Twitter. Do I sound okay? Oh, okay. I was like, I don't think I'm sounding like a dinosaur. So don't overuse hashtags because it's not Twitter. Do post short videos directly to Facebook. This is even more helpful if you have text instead of narration on your Facebook video. The autoplay makes it more engaging since people can read it instead of, like, Facebook videos have autoplay, but they don't have autoplay sound. So if you have text overlaying the video instead of sound, then people will be more interested in pressing the sound and keeping up with the video. So that's just a fun little thing, like the rise of the readable video, as it were. So keep that in mind, because Gordon and I will be doing that for some of our next videos. Do ask questions and solicit responses. That's pretty straightforward. People like to engage in questions because they like to have their opinions heard, especially atheists. Tag other pages. If you're meeting up with Planned Parenthood group on your campus to do an event, make sure to tag them so that they can like share the post of their page, and like the members will see like. So have you ever like seen in your feed like? I'm going to just use the closest example that I remembered. Rick and Morty was mentioned by this other page, and I was like, cool, I like Rick and Morty. So if they are talking about something that is also related to you, you'll see it. Tag other pages. Post a variety of content. Post links, post videos, post text posts, post photos. Photos especially get a lot of shares and likes. Just make sure that you're not posting the same things over and over because that gets boring. Use grabbing and engaging photos. Gordon had a whole talk on the importance of photos, a whole workshop earlier about the importance of photos, and I heard that there were no photos taken at that workshop. So y'all are doing something wrong. Has anyone taken a photo at this talk?
Yeah.
Oh, Liz and Joe, my staffers, guys. My staffers have taken photos of this.
I did.
Yay!
Yeah.
Good.
Posted online, it's of you.
Oh, good. That's fine. Yeah. Oh man, I only have 3 minutes. Oh, okay. We're gonna go over it, but this is my hour, so I'm gonna take it. Yeah. And be relaxed and conversational. This goes back to the being authentic and telling your own story. So that is important. And just this is from the LGBTQ marriage equality when that passed when I was off of work and still had to write the statement. That's fine. Comms is on call. I don't know if you can see this number right here. No, you can't. 630 people like this picture. That is a lot of people, and it's just our cool rainbow logo. And I guess maybe some people read the statement I wrote. I kind of doubt it, but mostly the rainbow photo. So this is an example of doing really good work because, I don't know, we do really good work at SSA. So yeah, now I'm going to talk about Twitter. I'm going to desperately talk about Twitter in the next minute and a half. If you have no members on Twitter, then don't waste your bandwidth on Twitter. Again, less is more. Brevity is the soul of wit. Don't bother if you don't need it. On Twitter, I would recommend stick to answering questions, promoting events and meetings, thanking volunteers and sponsors, and participating in campus events. So just kind of like your organization Twitter response should be relatively limited, other than just like basic content, like tweeting about your events, tweeting about important things to your organization. Basically, you can also retweet mentions of your group and tweet articles relevant to your group. So you can follow Friendly Atheist and the Secular Student Alliance on Twitter and retweet articles that are, mentioning you, especially your campus newspaper. quote tweets that need to be corrected. I'll get to that one in a second. Don't fight with people on Twitter. Not on your Facebook group Twitter, not on your group Twitter, just don't do it. Follow at secular students, your supporters, your members, and your sources. And get involved in wider campus events and tweet about them. SSAUSC has always participated in Project Condom, which is this big fashion show where the outfits are made out of condoms. I know, surprisingly, that's very straightforward. So we would tweet we would tweet with the Project Condom hashtag about our involvement. So like we would get more exposure on Twitter about our event and our group. So, you know, things like that. And this is an example from when I was still running my group, when we decided to have a Good Friday night, which is the Friday before Easter, where we passed out condoms, which is taking a book out of the Illini SSA group. And this guy, who was super mad about us, that the Secular Student Association was having an event in the middle of campus on Good Friday, because how dare us? So we got to correct him and say, no, it's all right, it's Alliance. And all them retweets. It was a good time. Even SSA National retweeted us. All right, Tumblr. If you want a group blog, if you need it. My disdain explains that I don't think you need a group blog. I don't think you should waste your time with a group blog. No. But if you think you need one, here you go. Tumblr allows for multiple bloggers with multiple usernames, so you can have your own Twitter, Tumblr blog, and also be a member of your group blog, and that makes it easy for people to like add new admins, delete old admins, that kind of stuff. And you can also do reblogs and original content. So if somebody wants to wax poetically for 600 words about morality for whatever reason, you can allow them to do this on there, but also like reblog pictures of atheist cats. Yeah. So Tumblr is that nice both worlds thing going on. You also want to utilize the tag system. Make sure to tag Secular Student Alliance, atheism, secular, that kind of stuff. Because people like me follow those tags and I'll reblog your stuff. And I know Carrie does too, and she has a way bigger following than I do on Tumblr. So utilize the tag system. Oh no! Oh, I fucked up.
It's just your time, you're out of time.
No, I didn't. It's fine. This also acts as your online web presence, so you want to put your press releases on your online web presence so people can go to the website for your online web presence and learn more about your press release. Which I just say there, put your press release. Keep your information up to date. This should be pretty easy to remember, but some people don't, so make sure your room number is up to date, your meeting, and your date, and all that really exciting stuff. I'm gonna run through secondary and tertiary, so we have Reddit, and Instagram, and YouTube, and others. This lovely screen capture is from one of the first SSA videos, and if you ever want to go to our YouTube channel and see this disaster, it's a delight. And Liz is shaking her head at me. You can also use Instagram. The Secular Student Alliance is on there as SSA leaders. Oh, I have 5 minutes left, guys. And so yeah. Reddit I would recommend using for promotion. Is there a large subreddit for your local community or your university? Then you probably want to post your events there. I would kind of avoid the general subreddits. Instagram is good for photos and promotion, and you can make your stuff look really fancy and artsy because of filters. YouTube is good for talks. Maybe you're really fancy and want to create a promotional video for your group. But I will say that if you want to post something to Facebook algorithm is actually much more favorable to videos that are uploaded through Facebook. So YouTube for talks, Facebook for short videos. I guess there are others like OrgSync. I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to talk about it. All right, so reminders. Less is more. Keep all your information up to date. Use BCC. Posting guidelines. Follow the Secular Student Alliance. Don't be dead. That's my talk. 22 new interactions. Awesome. Any questions?
Who's in charge of curating videos on the SSA's YouTube channel?
Isn't that Nick?
Isn't that part of communications?
I guess it is now. Are you telling me to delete that whole video?
I'm telling you, you can't pick on it, and it's your responsibility.
Okay. Yeah, Nick's been in charge of it, but I guess it'll go under me now.
All about it.
Huh?
All about it.
Yes, sir.
Do college students use Meetup as a way to talk to each other?
Not really. That's mostly off-campus groups that we've seen use Meetup. There may be like one or two here, but it's mostly Facebook and Twitter. Mostly, actually, explicitly Facebook for Secular Student Alliance affiliates, with Twitter as an additional auxiliary organization thing to advertise. Max.
What do you think about normal blogs? I realize not everyone has like a blog that's been going on forever, but
It depends on whether or not they suck.
oh yeah. So if you have a blog, make sure it
Doesn't suck. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, no, I actually, because I'm communications, I follow a lot of blogs, so I can keep up with the news. Yeah, keep it short, keep it less than 500 words. Yes, sir.
I'm starting a group, and I found that for email, I send out weekly email things. Bring up MailChimp, which is really good. And the really nice thing about MailChimp is that you don't ever have to worry about your mailing list getting public somehow. I believe in a lot of closet members, so I have to be really sensitive to that. And so it's great because it sends them individually out and does it for you. So.
Yeah.
And it's free.
And it's free. So if you don't understand BCC because you're too young, consider MailChimp.
It's courtesy copy.
The more you learn.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
How come you think you should update the Facebook page? I'm just scared, I know people all the time, but I don't want to not posting a Facebook page.
I think unless people are like messaging you saying, "Oh my gosh, stop updating the Facebook page," you're probably fine. I know the Secular Student Alliance, we update ours like 3 times a day during the week, at certain times, like in the morning, mid-afternoon. And like you can use Buffer to schedule things as well, so you don't have to like post them all at the same time. But really, like I said, only you will really be seeing all of your social media, so I really wouldn't worry about posting too much. Just make sure that you post regularly.
Yeah, one thing that our group has is we have a Facebook page and a Facebook group.
I'm being told to stop or wrap it up.
Okay, well, I'll just say it quickly. So the only thing that's annoying about the Facebook group and page is that like, you can't sync the events together.
Yeah.
And, like the page is obviously open, our group is closed, so it's hard to get new people aware of what times our meetings are and whatnot.
Yeah.
Try to advertise this with page and whatnot, but just want to get like a opinion or advice.
My opinion about events is make sure you do them more than the night before the event. Like, that's good, because some groups don't. Yeah, and I would do it via the page, and then post it to the group, and make sure that you invite all the people, and then make sure to continue advertising it on the page, because that's a much more public forum. And also make sure that all of your officers and as many members who are comfortable share the event, because the more people share it, the more people will see it. So, word of mouth. Whoop, whoop. Because social media is just a weirder version of word of mouth.